So it says I'm live. How's the audio? Can you hear me okay? Audio, audio, audio. I'm not seeing any audio. There we go. Some down there. Check test 1, 2. Might have to cozy up to this microphone. Let's see. I got a shiny enough forehead. I don't need to add insult to injury. I guess this is okay. Can you hear me, Jim? Hi, Jim. How's it going? All right, I can't tell if I've got audio, so let's do this. Okay, audio, video is good. Thanks, Jim. So besides Jim, who else is on? Oh, hey, Andrew. Hey, how's the Yuma? Is it hot over there? Yeah, Jim. Wintry Winnipeg. I saw there was a big storm headed up that way. Cold weather, nasty. You can have it. Oh, nice. Yeah, that'll work. Sedona is probably a lot cooler. Is it busy up there? I've heard it's kind of crowded. There's a couple of YouTubers I know that have been up that way. Oh, I'm going to grab my coffee. Excuse me. Yeah, Yuma was too hot. I'll tell you, Tucson's been hot too until it was 106 on Wednesday. And it's been over 100 every day, I think, for about the last 10 days. Oh, okay. Yeah, I talked to another friend of mine that was up in southwestern Utah. And he says it's starting to empty out there too. Everybody's scurrying headed north. Of course, I'm going to do the same thing a week from today. I'm just going to wait a few more minutes. Oh, it looks like we got 9 people on. So if you're on the live stream, welcome. Be sure and say something over in the live chat so I can see who's there. We're up to 11. So that's pretty good. That's probably more than I really expected. Hi, I'm TR. Hi. How's everybody? It's finally cooled off a little here in Tucson. I was just chatting with Andrew, who's up in Sedona right now. But yeah, it's finally cooling off. It's only supposed to be in the 90s today, if that's cool. But I've kind of figured out how to beat the heat. I did move 2 weeks ago. Yeah, fridge is fine, Jim. Thanks. I moved to a different spot. Andrew, who has been here before, he was here last year. So Andrew, I moved over into one of the 50 amp spots just down from where I was parked before. So 50 amps and a little bit more shade. And the 106 degree days, the hottest it got inside here was 84. Of course, you know, an RV is like an easy bake oven. So, hey, a girl, her dog, and RV. I know you're in Arizona too. Did I see you're in, was it Payson? That's Lainey and Riley. They were here last year too. Nobody came to see me this year because nobody loves me anymore. Oh, and Lena. Hi, Lena. Oh, and Richard Beachy. Could use some of that heat in Washington. Yeah, you're in August for 2 days. Right, Richard? Oh, headed to Page. Yeah, that'll be warm. Up by Lake Powell. Arlen from Lithia, Florida. First time watching. Yeah, well, this is, well, sort of my first live stream. I did a couple live streams, I guess it was a couple of years ago. And I was having really bad technical trouble with it. I wasn't on very good bandwidth. So today I actually had, since I moved, I moved to a different spot. I'm in the same RV park. I had to put up my booster to get a decent enough signal to do a live stream. I tried a couple of tests earlier this week and it wasn't working out very good. So sorry I'm not looking right at the camera. I'm trying to watch comments too. Lithia, Florida, where's that? I'm actually headed towards Idaho. If you're just joining, hi, it's TR. And I know a lot of you are pretty regular watchers. I hear from a lot of you. I get a lot of comments from folks. I really do appreciate it. So I'm going to wait just another, let's just wait another 30 seconds and then I got an agenda here. I always have an agenda. Near Tampa, West Central. Oh, okay. So not only does it get hot there, it gets humid. You know, they say Arizona's a dry heat, but at 106, even if the humidity is only 8%, it's still freaking hot. I had to put the awning in yesterday because it was blowing and the wind felt like I was standing in front of a hairdryer. Robert, I have the WeBoost 4G-X cell phone booster. There is an install video on my channel and then also a couple other videos. One where I review using the booster antenna, the directional, when I was up. Oh, thanks, Jim. When I was up at Birch Creek in Idaho, which I'll be there again this summer. But I got an 85 meg download and I was, I think 22, 23 miles from the cell site I was attached to. So there's a video on there about that, a couple of videos around my cellular system that I'll tell you what, it's changed the way I travel. I don't even think about signal anymore, really. I mean, if I'm going to a real remote location, I'll research it on campendium.com, and there's other places, you know, freecampsites.net. They have listings where they'll show you the cellular signal that's usually available there. But let's see, let me check comments here. Okay, so I guess what drew you here was the how do you make a rough decision on what to do as a full-time RVer amid this situation we're in right now. You know, things are starting to open up. I guess, you know, I've tried to not watch too much news because I'm tired of the sensationalized headlines. I made an offhand comment about how this felt like Y2K last vlog. And what I meant by that is that it just felt like it because of the hype. Y2K was serious. Nearly every large corporation had to put hundreds of thousands of dollars in man hours into their systems because they were written with only 2 dates in mind. That was the biggest problem. There was a lot of other scare around PCs and stuff that might not be right, but that turned out to be for naught, from what I could tell. So I think this COVID thing's serious. But one of the things that's on my mind about that is if I go someplace and say it spikes up, they open up and then a lot of cases start showing up. And then all of a sudden, you know, they overreact and they shut things down and they kick everybody out. Then I've got no place to go. I mean, I could come back to Tucson here. I have a reservation for next fall. And the way that Arizona or Tucson did it anyway is if you had a reservation existing, then you were more than welcome to come. They clarified that a little bit. And so at my RV park, there were a lot of people that came in that I have chatted with, socially distant, that were full-timers like myself, and they were just looking for a place to park, you know, that they could have hookups because you don't stay out here in the desert for long. In 100-degree temperature, if you don't have some kind of AC, you'll just cook. I mean, these RVs are like easy bake ovens. So that's the thing that's on my mind. I'm going to go ahead and go for it because I do have this backup plan that I could come back to Tucson. It is a 2-day drive. And then, of course, I'd be here in the monsoon, which might not be that great. But, you know, I guess we have to do what we have to do in these times. Let's see here. Yeah, I totally agree with you, New Nomadic. He says, I don't think it's wise to make life choices based on media hype and politics. I've tried to avoid all of it. This channel has been apolitical and it will continue to be. I might make a few offhand comments like I did, you know, about how public companies were snapping up those paycheck protection plan. And the other thing is, you know, small businesses totally got royally screwed by that. You know, half of them couldn't even get any money or get a loan because they didn't have an established relationship with a bank. It was just crazy the way that happened. but that might be the content. It won't be to talk about politics, Republican, Democrat, Independent, because it's all disgusting. I'm sure you are as disgusted with it as I am. 1860 watts of solar is reassuring. Yeah, it is. And in fact, for the 2 weeks before I moved and these really hot temperatures started, what I was doing is I was running my inside loads, fridge, lighting, TVs, my computer. I have a big desktop workstation here. I also have a laptop, but I do the bulk of my editing right here. And it sucks a lot of power up. So I was kicking off the charger. I was just turning off the charger breaker on my inverter and just letting the inverter run during the day. I was net neutral anyway. I wasn't having to charge the batteries. I was pulling more than enough solar off the roof to totally run the RV without ever pulling any current or any amperage out of the batteries at all. So, that worked out pretty good. But I couldn't run both ACs when it got really hot. If you saw last week, I put up an AC maintenance video about how I got them clean my ACs because I didn't think they were running efficiently. And that helped a lot, but it still didn't get me to the point where I felt comfortable because I was knocking right on 30 amps with both of them running. And the dirty little secret is, circuit breakers, although they're rated for 30 amps, they're not rated at 30 amps for hours and hours and hours on end, like my ACs are running. So that's one of the main reasons I moved. Let's see. Yeah, it does. Thanks. So Laney, you were kicked out of the Texas parks last month and nowhere to go. Finally found a place 4 hours from my last spot. Yeah, I saw. Is that where you were giving Riley the haircut? I follow Laney, and you can too over on Instagram. It's a girl, her dog, and RV. She has the cutest little schnauzer. His name's Riley. They were here last year. We went up to Tucson Mountain Park, and she came over and had dinner, and we got to know each other. She's a pretty cool gal. So go follow her over on Instagram. Let's see. Let me go back on comments here. Okay. Erlyn says, lucky last several days, beautiful morning highs, 50s campfire, then high 80. That works. Yeah, that works for sure. That's the one thing about it in the desert. It does cool off at night. And I try to suck out as much heat overnight as I can. So I leave this fan on, the kitchen fan, and I'll open a couple windows. Like I open the one up by my bed so I get a nice cool breeze over me at night. And that's helped cool it off. I try to get it as cool as possible in the early mornings before I shut things up and then live on AC the rest of the day. So my decision, I guess, is just I'm going to have to go for it. I could stay here. I'm beating the heat, but I'm beating the heat. I'm having to stay inside all day. You can't go outside and do much in this heat, regardless of COVID-19. It's so difficult to be outside in 100-degree temperatures and enjoy yourself, even though it's a dry heat. See, hey, a Grand Adventure. Yeah, you're in Sedona. Oh, Grand Adventure. Mark Guido, who was here. Oh, I lied. I said nobody had visited me this year. I'm sorry. Mark did visit. I guess it must have been, what was it, into March, first part of April. Go over and check out his channel too. He does a great job of recording his travels. He's out of Salt Lake, but you were in St. George last weekend, I think, Mark, and then Sedona the weekend before. Let's see. Thanks. Oh, yeah, sure. Laney, yeah, stayed in West Nasty, Texas until I decided to travel northwest. Well, if you get up towards Idaho, you be sure and give me a holler. We'll socially distance and have some dinner. Mark and I successfully had dinner a couple of nights together here, and I wasn't ill. I don't think he was either. Mark and his drone, yeah. Mark. When I do my next live stream, which I've been trying to work with something called OBS, that's Open Broadcaster Software, and it's been really flaky. I haven't been able to get it to work reliably. I can't quite figure it out, but when I get that to work reliably, then I'm going to do sort of a live vlog where I can show you the stuff that's been going on and those sorts of things. But this week it's just my talking head. Yeah, I was trapped in my coach with Reflectix on every window. Yeah, I have the Reflectix too. Yeah, exactly. No depressing here. I'll show you. Oh, let's see. Right now, the front window is got Reflectix on it. I got the window right over there. I took that Reflectix off because I needed some light. I was, like, getting seasonally depressed. And with my awning out, it helps quite a bit. It does keep the heat off, and there's a lot of shade. I've got Palo Verde and mesquite around me. Doesn't keep the sun off the roof, but it definitely keeps it off the side of the coach, which makes it easier to stay warm. Okay, he ended up, New Nomadic is in North Carolina, hunkered down at a travel trailer park. It's freaking sweet here, but going to be 32 tonight. I'll take some 32-degree weather. I go south for winter, but after the 2 weeks of 100 plus during the day, a little cool weather would feel nice. Hey, Randy Waller. Awesome, buddy. Are you working? Let's see. Saturday's working. We'll watch. Okay, yeah. Uh, Randy is up in Des Moines, and he just got a rig. I think, if I'm trying to remember, there's a couple of the guys that watch me regularly. One of them just bought an old GMC, but I think Randy got a Class C, if memory serves me correctly. I'm getting old. You see all this gray hair. It's sucking all my brain cells out. Oh, right on. Arlen's going to Bozeman. Oh, you're going to get a camp hosting gig. Yeah, Bozeman's an amazing place. I grew up in Idaho Falls, and Idaho Falls is about 2 hours south of Bozeman. That country up there is beautiful. You got the Madison River and all that in there. Amazing country up around Bozeman. Um, I would go to Bozeman if I had a camp hosting gig too. Anyway, back to Randy. Get back to work. Okay, yeah. Um, Randy is an HVAC guy out in Des Moines, and he's been a regular viewer and commenter for quite a while now. So thanks for coming aboard, Randy. I'm happy to see that you could make it. Let's see. Laney says a girl or dog in RV. Sorry, that equals Laney in my mind. Oh, you're going to be up in Idaho this July. Awesome. Yeah, by July I'll probably be back up in the Island Park area. So PM me or just ring me or text me. You got my number, and we'll work something out. Maybe by July we won't have to worry about being so socially distant. Who knows? Lena. Okay, yeah, August. Oh, your daughter's in Bozeman. Yeah, cool. First time RV life, have a lot to learn. Thank you for your time and knowledge. Yeah, sure, Lena. Any kind of questions you have, feel free to ask them. I'll try to make this live thing a kind of a regular thing. There won't be any content next week. I think if you follow my channel, you know I've been working on the cowling of the roof, and I totally got the wrong color vinyl, and it looked like shit. Oops, sorry, I'm gonna have to beep that out. Um, but it looked like hell, and so I ripped the one piece off that I had put on, and I couldn't get replacement in to Tucson in time because, as you know, Amazon's running long lead times on some materials. So I'm going to have to do that when I get up to Idaho. And that was going to be my content for next week. And then everything else I kind of have done on the inside. Yeah, I watch Dan and Jen Nevada pretty regularly too. They're great people. They were here last year. I guess it's probably just a week before Laney and Riley were here. And yeah, um, I've been emailing back and forth with Dan because they were wanting to go up to Idaho, so I was giving them some tips on some things they could look at. And they're actually headed back to where they lived before they went full time to hang out for a while until this storm blows over. Oh, you're going to be with the rock climbers. That'll be cool. Those guys are party animals. they know how to they know how to have fun. Let's see. I'm just going back if I've missed anything. Uh, you're in Afghanistan. E-beggar? You ought to come up with a better name because I kind of discounted your comment that you made last time on my AC cleaning video. I'll be honest with you. But thanks for coming along. And by the way, what you didn't see is I probably cut it out, is that I did take that canned air and I blew out all of the top and the inside and so on and so forth. In fact, I probably should have stuffed some newspaper in there, but I forgot. And I really didn't get any dust or dirt down in here that I noticed when I kicked the ACs back on. But it would have been a good idea to stuff that vent full of paper before I blew out all the dirt from the ACs. Last week's RV how-to video was an AC maintenance video, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, that it was warm and I thought it'd probably help if I cleaned them up.
Here's what I found on the web.
Oh, it sounds like Alexa must have heard me. I'm not asking you for anything, Alexa. You may go to sleep now. So I have the Amazon Fire Stick. Well, it's actually the Fire TV Cube. And every once in a while, something that she should respond to and tries to answer you. But it's been a really great device. I mean, if you're looking for a good streaming device and you don't have a smart TV, they work perfectly. I've been really impressed with it. Oh, hey, there you go. Looks like good night, E-Beggar. You have a good one. Okay, look at that. We've made a social connection on the live stream today. That's awesome. So I guess some of the other things that was kind of on my agenda. Google killed my website. I don't know what I did. I think what happened was that about the 17th of February, I have this utility on my website that I use that posts images. It's a scheduling thing, and then it also automatically posts over to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It would post to LinkedIn. There's like 20 other social media networks. It posts to Reddit and all that stuff. Of course, I don't even really ever check Twitter, to be honest with you. I'm pretty much Facebook and Instagram, and that's pushing it for me. But it went crazy, and I had a whole bunch of posts scheduled, and they all published at once, but they didn't publish. There was something wrong. And so I noticed that on a day that one didn't post, and so I went in to look at the logs on it and tried to fix it, and it blew it up. And so I ended up somehow deleting the posts, and I think that's what irked Google, because they killed my website. I was seeing 30, 40 viewers, visitor day, and then all of a sudden it went to zero, and I went to zero for like 5 weeks. I mean, there was just nobody going to my website, except those that were coming from YouTube. I always put the link in the video description, and sometimes I link it up in that corner, as far as to my website. And I don't push that stuff a lot. It's like I'm trying not to push the Amazon store thing. I'm trying not to push those other affiliate links. I mean, I greatly appreciate that you guys visit those and purchase stuff through them, but I'm trying to not be a beggar, but it is helping to offset the cost to run the channel. So that was the only traffic I was seeing to my website. Most of it was for the BioGeoMethod pamphlet and some of the other information I have associated with my holding tank maintenance videos. But anyway, it's finally starting to come back. I guess I'm out of the doghouse now, but it's been almost 2 months. I'm starting to see a little bit more traffic coming from Google searches. So that was kind of downheartening. Let's see. Script text was hard to read. Yeah, I think I fixed all that. It was particularly a problem with Apple, and I was using a Google font that I thought would be, downloadable in every browser, but apparently Safari wasn't downloading it. At least that's what I could find out. I'm not an Apple guy. I have Android. All my stuff is Samsung, at least my cell phones and stuff. Back to driving. Okay, see you, Lainey. Have fun up in Lake Powell, and we will catch you in July, hopefully, if not on the next live stream. The other thing I think that's been really surprising to me, and maybe to you guys too, is how inflexible our food chain is. Look at all this milk that's been dumping, and I know these are headlines, right? But I think that's serious. The ranchers, I watch I'll get it out yet. I watch a channel called this must be time for coffee. I watch a YouTube channel called Our Wyoming Life. Amazing channel. The guy's a rancher. He's up around Gillette, Wyoming, and he basically takes you into just the nitty gritty of ranching, and how, ranching is a tough business. That's a tough life. They run on super thin margins, razor thin margins, and You know, when you have to sit down and buy $100,000 worth of hay a year to keep your cattle alive, that'll make you sit down and think twice, I think. But he was he posted a video the other day about the inflexibility of the food chain and how all the ranchers, in fact, all the animal, well, in fact, all the farms are, they've lost their markets. This fresh to the grocery store, not grocery store, but fresh to the restaurant market has killed a lot of these. The supply chain is completely inflexible, and that's just craziness. I don't understand how a company can run on such a very fine defined market. I mean, without something like this totally blowing up your business. I know the engineering company I worked for, they spent a lot of time and money diversifying. Before, when I first started working for them, they basically were transmission distribution, that's power lines, substations, and stuff. And they diversified out considerably because one economic downturn just about put them out of business. Poultry and hog processors in trouble with slaughterhouses inconsistent. Yeah, I know. They're just and and there's a glut of animals on the market, which is totally depressing the prices that they can get for their animals. And I, it's amazing to me, how inflexible our food chain is. All right, so I've been about 30 minutes. I think I'm probably going to wrap this up. But if anybody has any other questions or wants to make a comment, Mark, Mr. Grand Adventure, are you out this weekend or are you actually back in Salt Lake? I'm just checking any other comments. Waiting for people to reply. So yeah, I no content next week. I will actually be driving next Saturday. My plan is to try to get out of here as early as I possibly can, and get as far north as I possibly can. I'm going to try to make it to, well, at least up to the Utah state line. The plan is I'm probably going to pull over and park. What's the name of that right there? Thanks, Randy. The campgrounds in Iowa opened yesterday. I've been there, Randy. I spent, I bought a brand new diesel motor for Rusty the RV in Sioux City. Or, I mean, in, not Sioux City. Where was it? Over there on the east side of the state. Cedar Rapids, yeah. I've been to Iowa. James Kirk, Captain Kirk's birthplace is in Iowa, and I've been there too. Okay. Thanks, Randy. You have a good day. Okay, so I guess that'll probably do it. Thanks, everybody. I do appreciate it, and I hope everybody found this fun. Okay, thanks, Arlen. I will try to do more live. I think I'll put a poll up on the next time and see if there's a better time. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, thanks for all your comments as well too, and you be well. But I think I'll put a poll up and see if there's a better time for people. I just kind of grabbed one out of the. All right, over in Wyoming. Yeah, Wyoming should be cool. The area around Jackson, though, is still completely closed down. I'm sure you probably know that, Andrew. But that area around Jackson, it was the same thing. I'm thinking about it. Where I worked and lived up in Blaine County, Idaho, was a real hot spot because apparently somebody brought it in. There was some skiing event going on. Of course, Sun Valley's in Blaine County, Idaho. And they brought it in. There were 438 plus cases in Blaine County within a couple of weeks of the outbreak. So it got him hard up there. But, and I think Jackson Hole kind of has the same thing, or we're on the western side of Wyoming. They were shutting it down. And the last I saw, it was still closed down quite a bit over there. All right. Anything else? I'll sit here for just a minute and let's see. Did I get on everything on the list? Oh, I guess there's one thing I might mention. the reason Y2K was such a problem was because of the programming language COBOL, which you've probably heard about in the news lately, because a lot of states still have COBOL running their unemployment systems. And with this huge surge in unemployment here recently, that's what's caused a lot of trouble. Like New Jersey was begging for COBOL coders. You could have wrote your own paycheck for that. I know a bunch of, I know, actually, I shouldn't say a bunch. I know two guys from back in the day, Y2K, that were making, this is back in 1997, 98, we're making $100 plus an hour writing COBOL code, fixing Y2K vulnerable software. Yeah, nothing's in stone, that's for sure. We're sure in limbo right now. Um, but I think, those are tourist areas. And I heard that they're starting a phased opening of Yellowstone. I didn't see the date. I just saw the headline blow by yesterday, and I didn't stop to read the text of it. But it looks like they're starting to open up Yellowstone. Um, I don't think they're going to open the Yellowstone Lodge, was what I read a couple of weeks ago. But that's still to be determined. Where I plan on going is almost kind of the same route I was on last year. I'll be up in the Birch Creek area fishing. A couple of videos on my channel from up there. I'll be definitely going back to the Kaufman access point, which is where I caught like the 19 fish in a couple of hours. That was really a fun day. In fact, I think I might actually stay at that place. It's an Idaho Fish and Game campground, unimproved. There's pit toilets there, but I think I might go and stay there rather than at. Oh, Andrew says, but he works at Yellowstone. Start date moved to May 25th. Okay, so I had heard through the grapevine that the federal campgrounds and all of the national parks were pretty much planning on being closed until the end of May. Of course, that's always subject to change. Everybody gets to change their mind. But yeah, my route this year will probably be pretty much the same, back up into Birch Creek Valley, just because it's a great place to go. Then probably up and over the hill into Island Park. I might try to get up early enough to catch the good fishing up on the Madison. The problem with that is the Madison's usually kind of gone over by the end of June, and I'm planning on staying in my first stop for at least a month, visiting family and friends, and then heading north from there. Birch Creek, Island Park, back over into eastern Idaho to fish the South Fork of the Snake. Probably about the same schedule, unless things change, blow back towards Arizona starting, well, when there's snow on the mountains. That's usually right around the first week of October. The snow starts to get on the mountains, and then I'm a bird. It's time to start my migration south for winter. All right, I don't see anything else. So, hey, thanks everybody. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for all your support. It is one of the favorite things I do every day when I get up in the morning, to check my comments and answer your comments and questions. And so feel free to do that. As always, your support on Amazon is greatly appreciated. Your support going over to my website, browsing it around. I post a lot of my photos. I've tried to post up there almost every day. And so I post a lot of the photos and stuff that I've been doing here lately up on my website and on Instagram. So you should, you can follow me over there too. And you get a little bit more real-time updates. I usually try to run with a 2-week slag in the summer, just for locational security. I don't want freaks coming out and finding me, if you know what I mean. So that'll do it. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Oh, wait a minute. Just a couple more. Oh, George, AK just jumped on to the beginning, so I'm way behind. Yeah, sorry, George. George is trying to convince me to come out there and go fishing with him, and he's clear over there on the East Coast too. Yeah, I'll stay on for just a second. The thing about going clear across the country is you got to come back. So it's not just 13 days of driving or 10 days of driving 300 miles a day. Then it's another 10 days of driving 300 miles a day. So it's a long trip. But I have a lot of good friends out in Virginia. Virginia Beach area. I have some friends up in Washington, D.C. and up in that area that I'd love to go see. But it's going to have to wait, with this COVID crap. That might be a couple years. You bet. Thanks for coming, New Nomadic. You have fun out there on the East Coast. Try to get out of there before it gets too hot and humid. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. All right. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Till we get together for the next one. Peace. Bye, bonds. Bye, 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 bonds.